чем зимой. С войной покончили мы счеты, с войной покончили мы счеты, с войной покончили мы счеты. Бери шинель, пошли домой. Война нас гнула и косила, пришел конец ей самой. 4 года мать без сына, 4 года мать без сына, 4 года мать без сына. Бери шинель, пошли домой. К зале и пеплу наших.
Ночь коротка, спят облака, и лежит у меня на ладони незнакомая ваша рука. Средь тревог спит городок, я услышал мелодию вальса и сюда загляну на часок. Пусть я с вами совсем не знаком, и далек отсюда мой дом, я как будто бы снова возле дома родного. В этом зале пустом мы танцуем вдвоем, так скажите хоть слово, сам не знаю о чем. Будем дружить, в вальсе кружить. Я совсем танцевать разучился, и прошу вас меня изменить. Утро зовет снова в поход, покидая ваш маленький город, я пройду мимо ваших ворот. Пусть я с вами почти не знаком, и далек отсюда мой дом, я как будто бы снова возле дома родного. В этом зале пустом мы танцуем вдвоем, так скажите хоть слово, сам не знаю о чем.
Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Remember how we laughed away the hours. Think of all the great things we would do. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we'd choose. We'd fight and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. Da 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 da
Кофточка нравится? Сумочка нравится? Хорошо, поздравляю, Дима.
news. We'd fight and never lose. Those were the days. Oh yes, those were the days. Da 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 da
Yes, I'll ask everyone to please, the family, please be seated in the first two rows. Of course. Michael, and you and your family in the second row there should be 5 chairs. My name is Susan Winkelstein, and I'm a funeral director with Chicago Jewish Funerals. We're about to begin the service for Mrs. Margarita Tsipurskaya. The service this morning will be conducted by Rabbi Eliezer Demarsky.
מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי לא יחסור, בנס דשא ירביצני על מי מנוחוס, ינחלני, נפשי שבר ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו, גם כי אלך בגיא צלמוות לא ירא רע, כי אתה עמדי, שבתך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שלך נגד צררה, דשנת בשמן ראשי, כוסר רוויה. אך טוב החסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. Мы сегодня прощаемся, говорим прощальные слова в память о маме Саймона, Маргарита, как ее называли, Рита. Мама, бабушка, прабабушка, сестра. Женщина, которая, можно сказать, прошла огонь и воду и медные трубы. Она прошла всю войну, работала фельдшером медицинской части и буквально прошла огонь и воду. Вытаскивала раненых с передовой, работала в госпиталях. Трудно даже представить, сколько всего она повидала. Но мы можем догадываться, скольких она спасла. И именно там, в госпитале, она познакомилась с будущим мужем. Вместе с Иосифом воспитали семью, 2 сыновей. К сожалению, у нее была большая потеря, не только у нее, а и это потеря для всей семьи. Она потеряла младшего сына. И как мне Саймон вчера сказал, она посвятила всю оставшуюся жизнь смерти своего сына. И эта тень утраты никогда не покидала ее. Но вместе с этим она была очень сильная женщина, очень волевая женщина. И, может быть, война закалила ее и дала ей возможность, несмотря на такую ужасную потерю, продолжать жить. И все в жизни относительно, мы знаем, и относительно она прожила хорошую и даже счастливую жизнь. Особенно годы в Америке. Это было на удивление всей семьи, потому что жизнь там была очень тяжелая, и она осталась, по сути, одна. Вот сын уехал с семьей, и внуки уехали, и она очень много работала, пользовалась большим уважением всегда. И она согласилась приехать сюда. И на удивление она тут получила какую-то вот новую жизнь, вот новое, вот как бы вдохнули в нее новую жизнь, появился новый интерес, здоровье поправилось. Она во многом сформировала жизнь и Майкла, и Оли. Майкл больше там, в Москве, Оля здесь, вспомнила русский язык. Очень много бабушка сделала для своих внуков. Она очень радовалась правнукам. И последние 20 с чем-то лет она прожила более, так сказать, светлую, более радостную жизнь, потому что рядом с ней была ее семья, ее сила воли, целеустремленность помогала ей пережить все трудности. И сейчас, оглядываясь на ее жизнь, 96 лет – это довольно долгая жизнь. И в ее жизни было много. И, оглядываясь назад, я говорю, это семья, у нас есть пример. И где-то мы согласны с ее выбором, может быть, где-то нет. Но даже там, где нет, это все равно, это уроки, которые она нам преподала и помогла сделать наш выбор, поступить, как мы считаем нужно, как мы считаем правильно. Но что бесспорно, это то, что несмотря на войну, они с мужем прошли оба очень тяжелую школу войны. И несмотря на это, они смогли построить хорошую, здоровую семью. И навсегда ей за это большое спасибо. Все, что ее сын достиг, и неважно, понимала ли она всегда или нет, чем он занимается и почему, но то, что она понимала, она делала на 100%. Она всегда верила, чтобы дети были накормлены, и обуты, и одеты, и это она делала на 100%. И поэтому она создала тыл, так сказать, тыл для своего сына, на фоне которого он мог уже сам пробовать новые вещи и преуспевать в новых сферах жизни. И точно так же, таким же тылом она была для своих внуков. И вот вместе с мужем, несмотря на потери, несмотря на ужасы войны, которые они пережили, они смогли построить несколько поколений своей семьи. И ей повезло увидеть эти поколения, увидеть, как вырастает следующее поколение. Она участвовала в жизни своей семьи. И опять-таки вот за все, что она сделала, ей большое-большое спасибо. Это ордена, это только маленькая часть благодарности, которую она заслуживает. Я бы хотел пригласить Светлану и внуков сказать несколько слов, пожалуйста.
I'm going to speak English because not everybody speaks Russian here, so, and grandchildren and Monique. So it's a sad day today. for our family. Our last matriarch, Margarita Ilyinishna, Babushka Rita, passed away. Long life, spanning almost a century, because she in few months she would turn 98. Life full of hardships and full of joys. Life that started in Belarusian small town of Vitebsk and ended up in North Chicago. Just imagine. Imagine her at the tender age of 18 going to war and starting to dig trenches around Moscow, in suburbs of Moscow, to prevent Nazi troops to enter Moscow. And then pulling wounded soldiers from the line of fire during World War II. End of war found her in Budapest. Young, beautiful nurse marrying decorated army officer and then moving to Moscow, expecting her first child, my future husband. Dear Margarita Ilyinishna, I'm very thankful for you for raising your son the way he is. I know that was your main focus in life, family, super clean apartment, super tasty dinner, beautiful house plants, always blooming, and encouraging education. I'm thankful that I knew you for almost 50 years, that we were able to bring you to the United States to be with us, and that you had a comfortable life that you deserved at the end of your life. You loved your son and me. You adored your grandchildren, Oli and Misha, and were so proud of them. You were happy when Misha married love of his life, Monique. And when the grandchildren materialized, she was ecstatic. Margarita Ilyinishna, your life was long, full, and produced beautiful fruits. We loved you, we love you, we'll remember you always, and we'll miss you always.
Misha, Oля. Misha, please.
Okay, that was that was a great speech moment. So, Babushka Rita, our last babushka, we just buried Babushka Luba a year ago. So Babushka Rita was an amazing woman. We obviously she had huge influence on all of us. She was super hard worker, and it was evident in everything she did. She was a very loving person. My parents remind me she drove across or rode buses across Moscow to help get me going in first grade, and I don't remember like what we did, but I do remember her delicious, pureshka y kotletki. She was a great cook, and I know her life was full of struggles, financially, and then raising dad. Like Mom said, it's she raised a wonderful son, so we're so we're thankful to Babushka for having a great father too. But she was always in some ways fixated on the loss of her youngest son, and it sort of shadowed her life in some ways. What's interesting is as she became more, demented later in life, she almost looked more peaceful. So, I mean, Monique, actually, my wife and I were talking about it, and there may be a sense of closure here. I don't know if Rabbi agrees, but maybe their souls are kind of together now. She feels like she's, at peace more. There's a lot of, in Russia, when we left, we kind of left her behind, and from what we saw, she was pretty decrepit. My dad picked her up in 1997 or whenever that was, and she came for the first year. It took her to thaw out and just kind of catch her breath when we brought her to America, and then she kind of blossomed, into like. And she had her own apartment, and my parents took this amazing care of her, and she was all tucked away in downtown Chicago, and she actually became best friends with Babushka Luba, which was, I mean, they weren't really good friends like earlier in life, but in the last part of their lives, they were like besties. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Babushka Luba's mind was sharp as a tack, and Babushka Rita's body was super strong, and they're together. They were these like, they were just together, inseparable, which was amazing to see. I think they really gave each other a lot of consolation and support, and they had that mutual background. So that was really cute and neat. And the other things that I remember about Babushka Rita, as much as she has kind of kept to herself, and she loved family so much, and she especially loved like any events that we had. She would, like, if we go to a restaurant or whatever, it's like as soon as music comes on, she's like, "Where's the dancing?" And she would, and I was maybe slightly older than Noah, like 15 or I don't know, whatever. But she would always grab me, and we'd always have to dance for at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes together. She was just ready to really just it's time to leave everything aside. It's time to party. It's time to go. So so she always wanted. She had a lot of life in her. I know it was a hard life, but I think she strived to be happy, and she wanted to. She did find those little jewels, and I agree with Mom. That was interesting. The flowers and the nature was always important to her. So even like small apartments in Chicago or in Moscow, she always had like all these flowers everywhere, and that she always had in pots. And anyway, so I think that's all I had. It was kind of free, but we'll miss her, and I mean it's interesting because she's been going down gradually for a long time. So we've kind of, I mean, she basically has sort of, and I don't know how it works. I mean, I don't know if the soul leaves you then or now, but like, I mean, she was not really there in the past 6 months, a year. But now that it's like real and she's really getting buried, and I think she's, we can really celebrate her life. And I think she's done so much, I mean, for progeny. I mean, we're really happy that she was able to do that for all of us and go through all the hardships. She would give up her like vacation time to send Diedushka, for example, to meet Mom in the right. Isn't that the story where she sent Diedushka to ski my dad. Well, okay, my dad to the trip where he met you.
Oh yeah.
So that's a contribution right there, So yeah. Anyways.
I didn't know it was her vacation time, but she kind of persuaded him to go on the trip.
So there's a lot of interconnected things, and she permeated all our lives, and I think we can celebrate her life as a beautiful one. So we'll miss her terribly. Bye, Babushka. Yeah.
Both really good job on the tributes, both of you. So So, as has already been mentioned, my babushka went through many trials in her life, and it brings me a lot of peace knowing that she went peacefully in her bed at the age of 97. There's not many that have a story like hers, that have an ending like hers. Having gone through to war at the age of 18, lost a child, overcome many trials, and having moved countries late in life. Right through the end, she showed that she is a survivor and a fighter. So it brings me a lot of peace thinking about the small moments we had. You know, she was a woman that really kept to herself from most of what I saw. You know, she definitely delighted in her grandkids. But it was really these small encounters. I really enjoyed going on the trips buying koftichki. There was like a decade-long quest of buying koftichki for babushkas that were similar but not super similar. So there'd be like distinction but not jealousy. Yeah. So as my brothers said, that they became really, really close later in life, and even the passing is kind of interlinked, and it's kind of lovely to see how, you know, the different things life brings you. You can't really plan things out, and seeing how seeing the juxtaposition of how her life started with how it ended is really special, I think. And yeah, I do have to say it was great that she came, because I relearned Russian, because I все подзабыла. So just I don't have too much. I mean, everyone said everything I really wanted to say. I think she would have really enjoyed this. She loved the flowers, and she loved observing. She loved being included and observing from the side. So this is exactly, I think, what she would have really enjoyed. Being with those who love her, and being with those she loves. And yeah, it's a beautiful life she had. In all, if you think about everything, it's a difficult but beautiful life. And I will miss her greatly. I will love her always. And yeah, she added a lot in her own unique way. She added a lot to all of our lives. Bye, babushka.
Listening to Misha and Oля, Misha kept asking me questions about the soul, and I think there's actually a point where Rabbi and Doctor, we can come together, because these are two pictures here, and this one is in the beginning of her life, and one is in the end of her life, and everything is different except for eyes, I think, because her look, I think, is the same. And we know that eyes are the mirror of the soul. So I think here we can come together, eyes and soul, right? Svetlana is eye doctor, and Michael, so they know. So here's her soul. You can see through her eyes, and unfortunately now her eyes are closed, and her soul is in a different place. But I want to just to leave you with a thought, and maybe mainly it's for the future generations, for grandkids, for great grandkids here, that nowadays what I also have kids, little kids, and what I hear almost on a daily basis, one phrase: it's not fair. It's a very, I don't know if you have it in your family, whatever it is, somebody got bigger piece, somebody got, it's not fair, right away, without even thinking, it's not fair, not fair. We're very used to, like, it's not fair. I think what your grandmother, great-grandmother, mother proved with her life, they didn't have this concept, it's not fair. They were, like a good player, you play with any cards you're dealt with. You don't say it's not fair. A good player play with any cards, the best he or she can do. And this, I think, we can learn from the life of your great-grandmother, that whatever fair or not fair, she played the best she could do, and she did the best in the situation she was. She played the best, and she's proved to be a very good player, and that's we can take to us. And when something happens, life throws in our face things, we should never say, this word should be even forbidden from a vocabulary. It's not fair. Just do the best you can do, and you have a great example in your family, a grandmother that really did the best with any cards she was dealt with. And today we're saying goodbye to her, and we pray, we ask God to remember her, everything she created, everything she did, she accomplished, and what she left in her life. And this should be remembered and serve as a merit, as an award for her courageous life. And we pray that God should grant her the highest possible place among the most righteous women, mothers, and heroes. I'll say this prayer. I will ask everybody in the end to answer Amen. El male rachamim shoichen bamrovomim המצא מנוחה נכונה על כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזכירים אס נשמס מרגריטה בת איליה שהלכה לעולמה בעבור שמשפחתה תיתן לצדוקה בת אזכורס נשמסה בגן עדן תהיה מנוחסה לכן בעל הרחמים יסתיריה בססר כנפיו לעולמים ויצרור בצרור החיים אס נשמסה אדוני הוא נחלסה ושנוח בשלום על משכבה ונאמר אמן. אמן.
Пожалуйста, пройдите, пожалуйста, назад. Вернитесь к стульям. всех присутствующих подойти сюда. Two lines, like a corridor. Саймон, и вы пройдете, так мы возвращаемся. Пожалуйста, все, кто здесь, like two lines. Когда Саймон будет проходить, мы говорим фразу соболезнования. Традиционная фраза, которая говорится в первые 7 дней траура, она говорится на иврите. Она в переводе означает: «Пусть Всевышний успокоит вас в ваших горях, и всех скорбящих по всем Иерусалиме». Я вам помогу ее сказать. Проходите, пожалуйста. Все остальные повторяйте за мной. Амоком, Гинахем, Эсхем, Бесох, Шар, Авелей, Цион, Иерушалаем. И на этом заканчивается.
А мы с тобой, брат, из пехоты, а летом лучше, чем зимой. С войной покончили мы счеты, с войной покончили мы счеты, с войной покончили мы счеты. Бери шинель, пошли домой. Война нас гнула и косила, пришел конец ей самой. 4 года мать без сына, 4 года мать без сына, 4